What's up, everybody? I'm Tylaxo, and today we're doing some Black Desert. And I was actually doing it off camera, but then I started seeing a whole lot of pop-ups of people asking what to do. As in, like, I am level 29. What do I do now? Do I go buy gear? Do I go try my hand at enhancing? Like, what do you do? And well, there are a whole lot of things that you can do, but the thing that me personally, like what I would recommend, is main quests. Like, let me just zoom out here on the map. You'll start like somewhere around this ancient stone chamber, and you'll just want to keep pushing the main quests like all the way up until you get to Medaya, and that's this territory over here. Altanova is the capital. And even when you reach Medaya, I would still keep on questing, as quests not only give you a lot of XP, especially up until like 50, level 50, level 56, something like that. But there are certain key items that some quests give that are insanely good. So let's have a look. So you'll start at the ancient stone chamber, and you'll just, do the usual, kill some wolves, foxes, or whatever. And you'll end up going to the Western Guard camp, Velia eventually, do some stuff over here. Heidel, again, just some quests that'll just lead you more to the west. And let's see. If you want, you can accept side quests. Although when I'm leveling a new alt, I just stick to main quests. That's what I do. It's usually just more than enough, and it just makes it a little bit more fun to level, because I could go somewhere and grind, but I'll be switching back and forth between zones and mobs, because you need to stick within 10 levels. If you're outside of that, you barely get any XP. So you start heading west more and more. You'll learn some stuff about the world boss, the Karanda one. You'll just go back and forth. Let's see. You'll go to Calphion again. Just some main quests. Kill 100 of these guys. It's not that hard, and it's really like the easy part of the game, I would say. So after Calphion, you'll get a certain quest to head to the Catfishman camp eventually, but you'll first head to North Kayak Pier. And here you get a few quests, like go over there, talk to that guy, kill 10 or 20 mobs. But when you reach Catfishman camp, that's where you'll want to reconsider, like, am I in the level 49 to 51 range? If I'm not, and it's not crowded there, I would certainly grind for a level or two. As it's really good XP, real dense mobs, and very large groups. So it's really easy to level here, and it used to be actually a good leveling spot back in the day. So after that, you're just gonna again go back and forth between Calphion, Trent, and Bear. And you'll just do those quests. You'll also eventually go to Hex's Sanctuary, where they now have that zone quest for Witch's accessories. If you do not have these, or if you're still kind of like really new or returning and don't have good gear, just grind a little bit here, and you'll just get free Witch's accessories. I mean, that's amazing. If I had these back in the day, man, it would have made life a whole lot easier. Also, they're fairly easy to upgrade. So, and even if you smash them, I mean, it's 2 mil each, so it's not that much, silver that you'll actually lose. So after that, you'll go back and forth between this zone here. There's a shrine here where it says Calphion Shrine Priestess, and you'll get a quest from the abandoned monastery to go there. Here you'll actually do a few quests, and you'll eventually go to a room. You'll actually have your first encounter with the world boss Zarka. And you won't really do anything with him or against him, as it's more like an animation, just waving its arms around and whatnot. It's just a whole room full of these priestesses, and you'll just kill all the priests, and Zarka will eventually just disappear, lose power or whatever. After that, and this is a very important part, at least for me it was, because I was leveling with a friend of mine who was returning, and he didn't have like good gear or anything, or a good horse for that matter. And we didn't get any prompt for a quest, or like go there, do this, or maybe you should go over there. Nothing like any of that sorts. But if you go like after all that Zarka stuff and all these quests here, if you go to the Lumberjack's rest area, I'm sorry, to Trent and to the Stable Master, you'll actually get a free tier 5 horse. And the nice thing about this horse is actually that it'll have 2 learned skills that are at 100%. And the skills that I got were Sprint and Instant Axle, as in instant acceleration. And that's just a skill that you can use with forward F, so it's a manual riding skill. But it'll give you a short boost, and that boost can... It's just amazing. It's really great. Which will make it a whole lot easier, because after all those quests, you will be prompted to go all the way over to the Camisilf Temple. And this is actually the introduction to Medaya. So you'll probably be somewhere around level 50-ish, depending on if you grind a few mobs more or not. And this is really the introduction to this whole zone. You'll be prompted to go here and there. However, somewhere around level 50, you will also get a quest from your Black Spirit, and he will give you a dim magical armor. Do not, I repeat, do not throw this away. You can sell it, but please, for the love of God, do not throw this away. This dim magical armor is actually part of a chain quest, and by doing the whole chain quest, you'll eventually upgrade that armor to basically a duo value. So the armor will be as good as duo Grunel, I believe. Or pretty much about any duo armor. So it's actually just free duo armor that you get from just doing the main quest. Or well, I believe it's a side quest actually. Doesn't matter, but you get free armor. And he'll also give you an offhand. It's also a dim magical offhand something. And this is also part of a sort of a same chain quest. And you'll also be upgrading it by every quest you complete in that chain. So I really recommend doing these main quests and keeping an eye out for like side quests that give like an armor with a weird name or anything, like a dim magical armor and the dim magical offhand. And these are very key to your leveling progress, because all of these things they've implemented so that it makes it easier for new players and returning players to actually get into the more difficult zones, like Sausons, for example. These are 100 to 180 AP, and that's, well, if you're starting out, it can be a little bit hard to get. But you also need a lot of DP, so the dim magical armor, if you can upgrade it all the way up to a roaring magical armor, aka the duo value, that'll help you out a ton, like really. Now if you're level 50-ish and you're entering Medaya and you're like, I'm really done with questing, again, really would recommend to at least get the armor. But if you're done with questing, I would actually recommend going to Helms if you're in the AP range. Which by now you really should be, because you're getting a whole lot of free weapons and armors and sets. So honestly, keep a whole lot of the armors and just keep upgrading them as you get new ones. So 50 to 56 is actually Helms and Sausons. And why do I say both? That's actually because they both are really great. It's just that the loot and the XP at Sausons, it's much better. It's also more larger groups of enemies, but it comes at the price of a higher AP. So if you wanna have a little bit more of a laid-back experience, because the mob density here is great, but it's still better at Sausons. I would recommend going over to this triangle outcut. This is somewhere over here, I believe. You can... Can I place the marker, please? No? Oh, okay. It's because I'm fishing right now. But if you're at this triangle, if you go slightly up, there's an NPC here with like a little fence around him. And you'll be able to put your horse there. Nothing will happen to it. And you can even put it slightly past the fence. I wouldn't go much further because there are mobs again. But somewhere right about in this zone over here is like a safe zone for your horses. Mobs won't be able to reach them. But you'll actually go over to the right and just kill mobs. You can do a smaller circle or actually a large circle. And if there are a lot of players or a few players doing like a rotation, you can switch it up a little bit, because there are two smaller circles over here and over here. However, if you see someone leveling over here, you can always go over there. But if there's no one, I would just recommend going all the way around. They have increased spawn rates over here. So if you're in the small circle or the upper circle, it doesn't really matter, because by the time that you're back at the start of the circle, they have already respawned. And it's really good to stay here between, as I said, 50 to 56. It's very easy XP. So you can actually switch it up with Sausons midway if you want. If you can handle it, if you find new weapons or new gear, or you buy something off the marketplace or whatever in the meantime, and you think you can handle it, you can always just go over there, hit some mobs and check it out if it's really something for you. Most of this is also just figuring out, like, it says 100 and 180, but what's my playstyle like? For example, the archer is very mobile and jumping around and stuff, so he's getting hit a lot less often than, for example, a striker who's really in that melee range and really taking the hits. So I recommend, even if you're like having any doubts or something, just go ahead and check it out. No harm, right? At Sausons, some of the items that you're getting, you can actually trade in for gold bars, as they're sort of like trade-in items. And if you're grinding at Sausons, you can actually hand them over at Sarma Outpost. However, you'll need a lot, and the weight on them is very, very significant. So I'd recommend staying here with a tent or a cart, or, well, at least a horse that you can just pack full of stuff. So after you've done that, depending on if you have the armor or not, I would again recommend to get that dim magical armor, or to upgrade it to roaring. And the offhand also. But all this grinding and leveling and all these quests should have given you some money to maybe invest in some new items. Something better, or of a higher level. You could try your hand at enhancing yourself. But enhancing in this game is very RNG based, and I try to buy my armors and weapons as much as possible, as enhancing is a real pain in the ass. However, I do try it from time to time, so. Let's see. So after you've hit like 56 over here, you'll start to notice XP just drops. You'll be leveling slower, you'll be getting XP over here at a significantly lower rate. It's basically because 56 is now sort of a soft cap, I would say. So after 56, you'll just head over to Sandgrim Bazaar. That's to the east of Altanova. If you want, you can check out some of these zones, but most of them are high AP. Like 190, 140, 190, so... really wouldn't recommend it. There's nothing really to gain over here. Some of these mobs do drop certain items, but it's not really worth it if you're a beginner, or if you're like really at or below this AP. So after you've traveled to Sangrian Bazaar, which is over here. You'll actually want to talk to the potion NPC over here, the trade NPC, and buy some purified water and star anise tea. As when you're traveling in a desert zone, you'll start getting debuffs, and that's either hypothermia or what's the other one? Not sure, we'll just call it sunburn or whatever. But you'll need, during the day you'll need the purified water, and during the night you'll actually need the star anise tea, as these debuffs will actually damage you. So you'll actually have damage over time, and these debuffs will not disappear unless you use either of those items. So after you've gone to Sangrean Bazaar, you actually want to level in the Desert Naga Temple zone. And there are a whole lot of rotations you can do here. You can go high and like way in the back. You can be around the temple, and even here there's like 3 rotations, I believe. You can go in a temple and more up high. You can even go behind the temple and way up high. Even here, it's a large zone, 2 rotations available, or just 1 large one, depending on really what you want to do. But even in this zone over here, there's a whole lot of desert Nagas. And this is basically where you want to stay up until 60. And it may sound like a lot, but at level 57, you can actually go to Marnie, who is in Sangrean Bazaar. Wakitoshi. And he will sell you Marnie stones. And these Marnie stones you can fill with, or by killing desert Nagas. You can buy different ones, 250 ones and 500 ones. I'd recommend buying the 500 ones, as it's a whole lot easier. XP wise, however, it's been proven that 250 gains you a little bit more, but you'll have to be traveling back to town a whole lot or more often. So depending on what you want to do, it's all up to you. But I take the 500 ones with me. And you fill them by just killing them. So if you've killed 500 desert Nagas, you'll have 1 full Marnie stone of 500 or 2 full ones of 250. And you can actually go back to Wakitoshi and sort of sell these back or trade these in. And he'll give you XP for each stone that you give back to him, which is full. And that's pretty much your whole thing that you'll do. I mean, you can go to different mobs, but the mob density and the way these mobs work, and it's still 100 AP, which is actually better than Sausons, because Sausons were like, what, 100 to 180, I believe? Yeah, 100 to 180. So they're slightly easier, but they give much better XP. So let's see, and then you'll eventually reach level 60. And there's several things that you can do here. You can continue grinding, which I do not recommend. Back in the day, this was actually the way to do it, just straight up grind it. However, nowadays, they have buffed the quest XP at level 60. So for every quest that you complete level 60, which is at about that level, you'll gain about 1% XP to 1.3% XP. And that may not sound like a lot, but 1% or 1.3% at level 60 is amazing. I mean, within 100 quests minimum, you're level 61. That's man, I wish I had this back in the day, like really. But yeah, you'll just want to quest, and the little bit of pain in the ass is that you don't want to be questing in the desert zone. So we're gonna go all the way west to, well, southwest, I guess, to Camasylvia, and you'll just want to straight up walk up in here and start accepting quests. And you could start like way up at Atanis Pond or Cadwell Forest, but I'd really recommend starting at All Wisdom Trees and just accepting any quests that they give you. And if the quests require you to kill griffins or the creatures that are in the Havarn steppe, these can be really difficult, as it's recommendation above 210 AP, but it's also a party recommended, so they are a bit tougher than the requirement for 210 AP. So if these quests are a little bit hard, you can actually skip them and just quest a little bit longer, as you'll be skipping these and you'll need to catch up later. So you'll just do all the quests from Old Wisdom Tree, you'll end up going to Shady Tree Forest, and after that you'll actually straight up go to Grana. And there are a few quests here, not much, and they're just easy, go over there, do this, go over there, do that quest. And after Grana, you'll actually want to go to Polly's Forest, but you'll go to Loony Cabin first. Just gonna sit up straight a little bit here, guys. And Loony Cabin won't have a whole lot of quests, but there are a few quests that you can do here that give good XP, and it's pretty much all walk over there, talk to that person, maybe kill 2 mobs or something, and you'll be the quests here will be there will be a few for killing in the Polly's Forest, but the recommended AP here is 160. And by your sheer level, skills, and the grinding that you've done, which will give a whole lot of skill points, and the items that you'll have by now, this should be doable. Again, if it's not, skip the part where you kill the mobs and continue down the road. So after Loony Cabin, you'll actually go to the Weenie Cabin. And here you'll receive some quests that'll actually have you go back to Loony Cabin, back and forth a few times, I believe. Again, I believe there's like 10, maybe 20% XP that you gain here. Not sure on the exact amount, but pretty much just go back and forth and accept all the quests that you get from the NPCs there. And after that, you'll actually have received a quest. Before this, you will have received a quest in Grana that says go to the new territory, and it will say that you need to go to the Ahib conflict zone. But as explained, you just skip that and just go to Loony Cabin, Weenie Cabin. After these two, and after you've completed all the quests that are like in Weenie Cabin and Loony Cabin, then you'll actually go to that Ahib conflict zone. There are also a couple of quests, fairly easy ones, maybe 1 or 2 kill quests, but for like 5 mobs maybe max. Pretty easy. And after you've completed the conflict zone, you'll have a quest to go to Marcia Outpost. Again, accept all the quests here. Even at this outpost, it's just a quest of grab some booze for me. That's higher up the mountain over here. It's still in the camp. It's just that guy's way too lazy to walk. Little drunk bastard. But you'll grab the alcohol. You'll give it to him. Just little quests like that, and you'll have to kill some creatures that are on this mountain. And you'll actually be going towards the Gaiac altar, right around this hill. There will be a quest like over here. Again, simple quest: kill 1 creature, talk to some people, continue to Gaiac altar. At Gaiac altar, you'll have a quest that will send you to Duvenkroon. And in Duvenkroon, again, accept all the quests that give you XP. There's one part that I didn't actually mention, but you'll need to accept the quests that actually say that they give you XP. You can do the contribution ones, as it's great to have a whole lot of contribution points. But if it doesn't say in the quest window that you'll get XP, you're not gonna get like level XP. You're only gonna get contribution XP. And I'm saying this now because there's a shit ton of contribution XP over here. In quest form, but there's only a couple in or that will give you like regular level XP. And after you've completed Duvenkroon, you'll be going to Marok Farm, and one quest will be for Kirmut Lumber Camp. And here you'll sort of be going back and forth between this camp and this base on the hill, on that hill. And there'll also be a quest for the... Not the Dormant Lumber Camp. There'll be a quest... Let's see, where's that little place? I believe it's Windy Peak. But there's an entrance here that will have a guy for you there that will give you some more quests and whatnot. There is a main quest going through here that will give you only contribution XP, but it's also again nice to take those with you, because it's basically it's sort of a guideline of where you need to go or to which zone, and it's pretty much going hand in hand with the quest that you're already doing. So you might as well take the free contribution XP. And by the time you'll actually around Kirmut Lumber Camp and on this hill, you'll be getting a quest to investigate at this waterfall, and you'll be going from this waterfall to the Omar Lava Cave, and at Omar Lava Cave is actually where I hit level 60. But as long as you keep following these quest line, or this quest line, you'll be going further and further to the east, and you'll be gaining a whole lot more XP than you would during grinding. And depending on how fast you do these, like if you're just manually walking and have some movement abilities and movement buffs going, you can do this in a couple of hours. It's not that hard really. And once you hit level 61, you'll actually get a Kaposha ring. And that's a 14 to 14 AP ring. And that's better than a duo crescents, might I say. So really happy that I personally got that. That was earlier this week. But yeah, that's pretty much you're leveling to level 61. And again, during this whole period, like up until level 56, something like that, you will be getting free items, free gear, and stuff like that. But you'll also be grinding a whole lot. For example, when you were grinding at Sawsons, Desert Nagas, all of those will give you items that you can sell, some of which you can even put on the marketplace, which will all give you money. And even before you hit level 60 or level 61, you can go out and buy some armor stones and maybe upgrade your gear, or maybe see if you can maybe sell some items and buy some items. And you really want to be focusing on pushing your AP, because with your DP, your defense, you'll be having that roaring magical armor, which is duo, which boosts that value a whole lot. But at Helms and at Sawsons and even at Nagas, you'll be getting Asula accessories, and you can upgrade these by using Asula's weakened accessories. So an Asula's earring will need an Asula's weakened earring for it to become pry. But these will drop like crazy. In most cases, you can actually go a couple of hours without even seeing a single one. But you can also be grinding for an hour and have almost 8 earrings or something like that. So it's really RNG based. But that set is really amazing if you can upgrade it. But I would make sure that you have something as a backup. So if you have 2 Asula earrings, try to keep those and upgrade a separate set to pry. So you always have something to fall back on. Because it's really a pain in the ass to miss a certain item in a slot. And especially the earrings, which give you AP, can be a pain in the ass. So that's pretty much the road to 61 actually, which is a whole lot of questing with a section of grinding, and then quite a lot of questing again. So yeah, that's pretty much how at least I did level 61 and how I'm gonna do 61 with my Guardian. I hope this helps you guys out, as I've seen a whole lot of these questions in chat and on forums and whatnot. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will try to answer each and every one of you guys. And even if you have questions that aren't even regarding this video, or if you want to see some other stuff, for example, some life skill stuff, or I don't know, maybe something out in the sea, or some more information on some stuff, feel free to ask. I'll try and answer each and every one of you. So I'm gonna end this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And if you don't want to miss any future content, hit the little bell thingy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.